Capricorn, to save some time, I already shuffled the cards and laid them out. As always, I will be teaching tarot through each card, so you not only receive your message, but you could grow your own intuitive skills, which is this channel's whole gig, all right? So this is a really good week to trust yourself. I can see some tough decision making has been taking place, but this is the time to kind of, especially for business, it's a love, trust, and contracts kind of gig. Okay, even in relationships, wherever you need to either cut the ties and divorce people or bring partnerships to a new level. But I'm thinking more along the lines of having to move on in new directions because there's a new stirring that's taking place within you that's not going to be settled, and it's not going to be held back by other people and situations either any longer. It's kind of like reaching a breaking point, but it doesn't have to be a confrontation. It doesn't have to be an upheaval or chaos. It can be practical and built upon being fair and just, but most importantly, being for the betterment of you. Let's just get into why I'm saying this, okay? Let's do this, Capricorn. In that first card placement is the general gist of the whole reading. The significator placement is a major arcana card, the Justice card. And it's favorable for business, law, and contracts. It's also a representation of marriage and divorce, okay? But when she appears for me, it's good favor for you, and you need to do what's right for you in being fair and just for yourself, most importantly, okay? And it's not just even in a love, trust, and contrast kind of way. It's really about your spirit and your heart, because when this has been getting damaged and trying to adjust what you know is right to do to other people to help them through situations and things that moving forward that you need to do for yourself. Like you've been trying to support those kind of people in situations, but there's coming a breaking point, and I think this is really kind of what it's about, because it's taking a huge toll on you emotionally and spiritually and probably financially as well. The reason why I'm saying that in two ways, okay? So we have the significator placement, that first card, the Justice card, right? And in the seventh card placement, this is why I think it's more like a divorce or breaking up. There's a few reasons here. In the seventh card placement, this is how we're feeling about ourselves. And the Star is a major arcana card as well, okay? So we have a few of them here. It means a life shift is taking place, but in a better way for you, but always that adjustment. It's never easy, especially for a Capricorn. And like I said, if we handle this correctly, we don't have to have an upheaval at all, because the upheaval has been happening for you. That's what the Star represents, especially in combination with that Justice card. I just feel like you've been trying to accommodate other people and not accommodate yourself. And especially when you know what the right thing, and maybe even in the legal area that you know what is the right thing to do, and you've been kind of skirting it in the gray area. And that's never a good place for a Capricorn, because that's not, you rule ethics and character and integrity. So it's a big deal for you, especially even love, trust, and contracts would fall under that. And the Star is a time for you to shine, because when it appears to me, it's a past reflection. It's one of the toughest cards in the tarot to me, because it literally brings you to your knees in a let go, let God situation. It gets so tough, so overwhelming, so overthinking, so over everything, that you're like, you throw up your hands and say, I can't do it anymore. God, you got to take over. And that's what God wants from you. That's exactly what that moment is from the Star. And there's a big karmic reward for you with the Star, okay? So I need you to stand up, brush yourself off, and do the things that you know that need to be done. You cannot avoid it any longer, all right? Because that card, the Star, is already taken a toll on you, and now wants to light up that bright way for you, right? Even in the darkness, you still see the light, and now it's only getting brighter, and it's shining on you, Capricorn. So I don't want you to not kind of push that aside for other people or other situations for their benefit and not yours. And I'm going to validate that as well in the second card placement, is what's crossing that ability to make that cut or that distance, or to bring things to the next level. But I think it's more about breaking off, because the Ten of Swords is a completion state in the minor arcana. In that second card placement, it's a real big deal, because it means you're done. There's you at the foot of God in justice, which is a great thing, because God wants to deliver your justice, not in a revenge way, because that's not our gig, right? That leaves that in the hands of God and the universe, but just doing what is fair for you, because I think the scales have been so unbalanced for so long in the other direction, not in you, and now it needs to be balanced. I'm not saying you have to go overboard. A little self-care, a little self-love would be really nice, but you know, it definitely needs a balancing, because you can't live here anymore. But it's a great card no matter what, because it means at the end journey of that minor arcana at our thoughts. But to the ancient tarot, it was more than just strategy and analytical thinking, which I'm sure has been heavy dose as well. But it's also for our identity, how we want to do things in our character, our integrity, our ethics. And there's been a real push and pull over a long period of time now to kind of like you really settle into what is important to you and what's not, and what you need to do that's right and that's not wrong, right? Okay, so I think you've been compromising in a lot of different areas, and it's time for you to stop doing that. And this gives us a key, and you're not having to worry about upheaval, because you've got this in your mind on how to handle these kind of situations. I don't say this lightly as a Taurus, because I believe in my own analytical thinking, but there's nobody better at this than a Capricorn. Because not only do you have the analytical thinking insight, you have the kind of like the Pisces feel of what emotions is, so you can be considerate and compassionate and grateful, right? To kind of make those shifts, even if we have to maybe hurt other people in the process that we don't want to hurt, but the kind of the situation dictates it. And that's the third card placement, God's way to how to navigate the week. And this is the key, the Six of Swords, a celebratory state in tarot numerology, but it doesn't really feel celebratory in the swords, because you've been fighting for so long in that inner narrative, and maybe even the outside world of people in situations that have been plucking your last nerve in so many different ways. And again, for the ancient tarot, it was all about identity, how you want to live your life, who you want to love, how you want to work, again, all combined with your ethics, and that maybe that razzmatazzy that you want to offer life, right? So the six says you could put down those swords. It's a celebration, but it's taking a toll on you. You're not the same person anymore. But I want you to look this as a reflection of the positive, okay? Because we can get really wrapped up in being tired from the fight, right? That's really what it means to me. It's almost like a boxer in the ring. You're standing there saying, okay, who's next? But there's nobody next. There's nobody in the ring with you. There's nobody even in the Coliseum. Okay, so I want you to put those swords down, but pat yourself on the back. That's a celebratory state in the exalted. You're not the same person anymore. Stuff happens. Sometimes we have to respond, and we can control that. And you've been doing a really great job at that. And I want you to pat yourself on your back for that. Also, too, it builds an inner confidence, an inner self-esteem that nobody can take away. And that's where the reward comes from. And this is validated as well in the fourth card placement. It's another key on how to handle the weak and those people in situations that dictate this kind of reading, right? Okay, the Strength card, another major arcana card, right? Insight into what God in the universe is telling you here. And it means in modern day tarot, I can handle anything. I got the strength to multitask, take on this responsibility, that opportunity, this potential, blah, 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 blah. But to the ancient tarot, it took it even further. It was overcoming those animal instincts of ego, pride, anger, rage that have been probably stirring up quite a bit lately. Okay, again, Capricorn is half ram, so you're going to have a lot of that stuff of the material world there. But that's the Strength card. It's the mastery of thought. Because whatever starts up on our brain is going to translate to our mouth and our actions. And we know this with this sharp-witted Capricorn. So you've been learning this as well on how to kind of adjust those kind of things to the outside world. And this gets reflected in the Strength card. It's God's affirmation to you that you're doing a really great job and you've got that inner wherewithal to handle anything. So draw on this resource of the Strength to kind of start the justice so the star can give you the reward. Okay, that's a combo, like the trio of this reading, really, when I think about it. And here's another reflection of how tough it has been for you. In the fifth card placement, the past reflection, the Four of Pentacles, it's a firm foundation in the area of the material. You rule the material, you're an earth sign, right? Family, home, relationship, work, our bodies, community, the food and the drink that we take into ourselves, right? The four is the exalted state. It's building that firm foundation, which I think you've been doing throughout all this whole mist, because that's a Capricorn way. It's not going to sit idle. It's going to be planning. But the thing is, we can shut down in the Four of Pentacles too in my deck. I can cross my arms, my legs, my eyes are crossed. It's like I'm just completely not there. And that's a way of dealing with maybe some of this heavy duty stuff just to get from A to B to C right now. And that's cool. It's a good thing it's in a past reflection. And let's take the exalted state that you know that you've built on the firm foundation. And I'm going to reaffirm that as well, that thinking. In the sixth card placement is the present, is the Ace of Wands. This is beautiful because it's you taking off with imagination again, kind of getting that spring in your step and your heart that's been lacking for so long and probably so welcome. But it means it's been stirring for a while with the ace. It's like a little bit, ooh, like a ripple in the water, and all of a sudden it starts to really grow, right? And that's the ace. That's you with that big wand of imagination ready to take off. But what's nice in my deck, he's the emperor. Business leader, love, trust, and contracts, another reflection of that as well. He's a good mentor. He's a good leader. He's fair and just. So if you're having like that thing where you've been plucking the nerve because you're so tired, like I'm just ready to snap, no. Take that moment and think analytically how you could resolve the situation with the law and legalities, and also being fair and just. That's the reflection of both these. But also too with the ace, it gives you the props and the firm foundation as well here to build upon your creative ideas. You've got, like, you might have to go to A to Z still, but you know how to get there a lot easier and a lot smoother and a lot smarter. That's the ace, okay? He's got that firm foundation. He's planted in Mother Earth. That's your domain, Capricorn, so believe in it, all right? Again, we did over the self. The star is a beautiful card in its exalted state. Don't go into Shadowland, okay? That's the non-exalted state. Don't retreat, because we got some of that Four of Pentacles of shutting down in the past. And I don't think that's happened. I think you're ready to deal with this because you've been planning and waiting, and you know that something's got to break and it can't be you, okay? So in the 8th card placement, this might give you some insight here on how to handle stuff. How other people view you as the 8th card placement. 5 of Wands, so we've got the good luck in the area of the creative, right? And the good luck in tarot has to come through something to get over something to get to the good luck. And in the 5 of Wands in the creative, it's getting over being a scaredy catty. Getting over like our insecurities, our doubts, and our fears and anxieties that could definitely build up from the star and the strength card, and even having justice appear, especially with the 10 of swords. It's a whole big buildup of you compromising you and not doing you, while at the same time trying to do you and the things that bring you forward and stuff. But again, there's an uneven balance, and people look at you as a little insecure. So let's say you have to take that more emotional feeling and make people soothe over to be able to move on in a way that says, oh, I just, I'm not feeling it right now for my inner confidence. Or like I always say in business too, and even in relationships, whatever it takes to make people feel good so they move on, right? And it doesn't matter what it takes to me as long as they move on, because we don't need that additional chaos or worry or looking over our shoulder. And that's what these kind of cards say. You have a way to make this all happen with the emotion and with the strategy, okay, the material. And that's the 5 of Wands. It would just give you insight. And I also say, overall, because it's still your reading, don't be a pussycat here. Get over those doubts, fears, and anxieties. That's where the strength lies in your ability to move forward, okay? I think you're there anyway. So, again, how you could use that for your betterment is what that is. And the 9th card placement is our hopes and fears, and the 7 of Pentacles, another reflection of the movement in a new direction. The 7 is the contemplation, meditation of new moves in the area of the material. Again, your domain. And see all those pentacles right there? They're all there. No problem, right? It's a crossroads state to me, because if you were really happy with what you were doing in the area of family, home, relationship, career, our bodies, and the community, you wouldn't be at the crossroads. And I think some of these cards are the thing that are kicking you off in that new direction. So don't be fearful of it. Grab into the hopeful, because all your pentacles are there are solid. No harm done. After the rough journey, you've learned some stuff. It's not going to be the butterflies and unicorns that get you to that inner confidence, right? Okay, and that stride in your walk that stems from that. And this is all a reflection of this reading, okay? And the 10 is validation of that as well. And the outcome card, the 5 of Swords. 5, again, more good luck in the area of our thoughts. And again, for our identity, our character. In that fight for that, right? Of how we want to do things. And here's God in the universe saying, hey, I'm sorry, Capricorn, I had to mess with you, but I had to mess with you, or you never would have known yourself. You never would have known how strong you were. You never would have known how smart you were. You never knew how creative you were, or that you were willing to take on a new idea for a new direction. Okay? So believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, Capricorn, because God's got great favor everywhere. Okay? Because I'll tell you something. The 5 of Swords is a karma card in a way. The 10 of Swords is a karma card in a way. But the Star card is definitely a karma card. We get validation as well in the bonus card for you to shine. Again, just like the light of the star wants to bring you into daylight now. The Sun in the bonus card is a major arcana card as well. in modern day tarot, like when we're selling ourselves or our ideas, everything gravitates to the sun, right? Everything's drawn to it. We all need that light. It's a time for you to stand in the spotlight as well, okay? So don't be afraid of that. Put yourself, put your ideas, whatever you're trying to bring to a new thing, and maybe even bring brightness and truth and love back to stale situations. If that's what you want to stay in your life and refresh it, that's all on hand too. But to the ancient tarot, it took it again like one step further. It opened up your heart and your head like a laser beam of fresh air, and like a zap out of all those insecurities, fears, and doubts that have built up after these kind of journeys. These are tough cards, don't get me wrong, but now it's got to break in your favor, and that's what God's doing for you, okay? So trust it, believe in it, because it's happening in the best of ways, and it's the best of ways for you, and I know you know this as well, Capricorn. You're half Pisces, so you know this, okay? So have a good week. It's a good one. You got this. Stay steady, stay strong, and just believe. All good, okay? Because God's giving you the information you need to do. Okay, oh, if you're so inclined to like or subscribe, everyone's been so great. Thank you so much.